doing? Oh, boy. Today's the big day. It's Fireside Chat with our favorite, Howie Roseman and Nicholas Sirianni. That'll be at the bottom of the hour. Roasting marshmallows, eating and drinking cocoa, and little wiener dogs in front of all the media. The Fireside Chat. We'll learn probably nothing, except it's a big kumbaya. How you doing? By the way, let me start this off by saying thank you to all of you, because our show is one of the absolutely most relevant shows in all of Philadelphia. We have Eagle people responding to the show. We have Eagle players responding. We have media people responding. We have people all over the city responding to the National Football Show and Big Sills. And the people we have to thank, you bet, Slagger, is you. Thank you. You're the people that made WIP and the Inquirer what it is. And now you're doing the same for us. I can't thank you enough. I cannot. You remember what you guys asked me yesterday? And I'm going to address Barrett Brooks' comment here in a minute. Do I think Barrett's going to take heat for that? Remember what I said? Yes. Probably going to get over 200,000 views. Well, it's approaching 500,000, 500,000. Okay? And the Covey, who tweeted at my Twitter, at Dan Sileo Show, I suggest you go there. Maybe I will read a little bit of it to put everything in proper context. So I'm going to paraphrase this a little bit. And according to some media folks in Philadelphia, paraphrasing, again, I want to make one thing clear before I go on. This is not journalism. This show has nothing to do with journalism. Nothing. We're not journalists. We know a ton of people because I've been doing this for 30 years. We're not journalists. This is not journalism. Yes, I went to school at the University of Miami for journalism, but this is not what I'm not a journalist. I've never been. Now, we'll take that back. I wrote for FoxSports.com 1 year. But outside of that, because I hated it, couldn't put an opinion on it, I am not a journalist. So when you come here, you get 100% opinion. This is like an op-ed show. Nothing to do with journalism. And some journalist out there, the paraphrasing and the headlines. And by the way, I love my IT guy. Fantastic stuff. Okay? James, awesome. People get butthurt. You know why? Because when you start to play in their sandbox, people get butthurt. They pressure other people and other companies. Well, JAKIB Sports is flexing their guns. That's what's happening. You agreed with Brooks. I did. So what? I'm not a journalist. And by the way, I agreed with Brooks. Don't say that Barrett Brooks is a liar just because Covey walked the comment back, maybe. You don't know if he didn't walk it back. You automatically assume that Barrett Brooks has no integrity. I do not do that. That's not fair to Barrett. Because somebody says something, you believe anything. You want to kind of stay in the middle of this until you see how this thing plays out. Okay? I also happen to have said, because Tone just said it too, I'd like to see a little more comments about this kid's leadership, Jalen Hurts. Now, to put everything in context here, at the end of my interview, you can go back and watch it too, by the way, I asked Barrett Brooks a question about some of the comments that are being made about Hurts's leadership. And Barrett said that he had heard and he had identified Britton Covey in a comment that he made and that he heard. Barrett's around the team all the time. Does a great job. I love the guy. I'm not going to sit here on this program and say that Barrett Brooks is lying because Britton Covey tried walking back something that he has to go into that locker room and face that guy on a daily basis. I'm going to leave it in the middle here. And so should you. Don't believe everything you hear. Didn't your father tell you that or your mother tell you that? Kind of take a little bit of what you get from both sides and kind of stay in the middle. Don't jump to conclusions on shit. By the way, if you guys want to act like that, or me, I have an opinion. My opinion will always be challenged. You see, the problem that you have in Philly is you have journalists pretending to be journalists, but they're really op-ed guys because they put opinions in it and make themselves part of the story. I'm not a journalist. And for the record, people are calling me a liar. I didn't say it. I can't help it. Tomorrow, Angelo Cataldi's on after your fireside chat. I mean, I can't help it. People come on this program and vent their opinions. And if I agree or disagree, what's it to you? That's why this is not a journalistic show. Okay? Well, Britton Covey, he completely denied it. Okay, great. Do I believe it? A little bit, probably. Do I think Barrett Brooks is lying? No. I don't. Does Barrett Brooks come off to you as a liar? Does he come off to you as a liar? Because he doesn't to me. It doesn't to me. Hey, man, when you stand in the squared circle and you become a bullseye, hey, Barrett, everyone, welcome to the club. Most people like to sit on the perimeter. I've never been over there. And remember, I didn't say it. How old all of this stuff hurts stuff is coming out. Philly media is a joke. Just like stirring shit up. Articles, bullshit, just my opinion. Fair enough, Joseph. You have a right to that opinion. You have a complete right to that opinion. But that was a shit show year this year. Your quarterback looked like a non-winner and a non-leader in that Buck game. And quite frankly, all the way from Seattle on, he was a shitty leader. My opinion, too. As a matter of fact, that whole locker room was shitty leaders. From Seattle down. Everyone's accountable. Hey, once again, you choose what to believe. Remember something. This is an opinion show. Now let's listen to what Britton Covey said on my Twitter page. And I respect what he responded to. Now this is at Dan Sileo show. And he felt compelled to have to. Normally, I don't respond to things like this because I hope that people don't believe everything they hear or read. Some of you should take that bit of advice from him. Jalen is the best leader I've been around. So you can hear it straight from me, not someone else. I never, in bold print, said he was unapproachable or I was scared of him. I truly don't get this narrative. Jalen's authentic is what makes him a great leader. He'll eat lunch with the lowest ranking guys on the team, make himself. He is a great friend and teammate. That's his response. What do I take of his response? Sure went a long way to have to respond to something. To me, if something's not true, I don't respond unless I'm trying to make a narrative. His response tells me a little bit. It looks like a Nick Sirianni apology letter to go overboard to make sure a special teams guy is making it so, hey, he's a great leader. Okay. You give me more question marks than you give me answers with that. Sorry, dude. I've been doing this too long. I called your coach a cheerleader. I called your coach a bullshit artist. Now everybody's on that page. You know, when you over-explain something, always remember, when there's a ton of words being thrown into something, when the truth is there, you really don't have to explain yourself. Do you? So again, do I think he's lying? No. Do I think he's telling all the truth? No, because nobody in their right mind would say that Jalen Hurts was a great leader this year. Nobody. Then again, nobody was a good leader at all at the end of the year in that locker room, the collective 53. Let's have a watch party for press conferences, Sil. Want to see your live impression of this shit conference. Joseph, funny. You mean the far side chat? Holy shit, is that thing going to be a kumbaya? Man, that thing's going to be right up most of the Philadelphia Inquirer and everyone else's skirts. That whole thing, man. Oh, man, there'll be a love fest. Hugging it out. Great questions. How you guys feeling? What's the direction of the team? All the dumbass questions will be asked and not the meaningful ones. By the way, I'm going to do this too because you know what? I heard a lot of people's questions. Well, I got a ton of different questions that I would ask these people. Flat out. And by the way, you know what's different? Do you know what's different about my kind of questions? I'm so direct, it's aggravating and annoying. I get it. That's why some people don't like the way I have an approach to things. Okay? That's why some of you don't like it. Shit, you used to have a market where media people were asking direct questions. Okay? I mean, you got to be blunt with these people. But you can't be because that's the way that market works now. And get this. You get a little butthurt because somebody paraphrased something different because you're playing in their sandbox. James, you're playing in their sandbox. Jacob's playing in their sandbox. Look at him get a little bit aggravated. Going after Barrett. People now saying Barrett's lying. Barrett Brooks has not come off as a liar to me. And nor should he to you. That's an insult. The guy's a man of integrity. I'd put my reputation on the line for that man. And I completely think he's a respectable man who's trying to get ahead in this business. But remember something, Bear, because I know you're watching. You're going to have a ton of people that will try to drag you down. So don't be like Big Sills. Okay? Watch your back. That's one thing I couldn't do. So watch your back. Because they will tear you down. People who you think love you will tear you down. Just a bit of advice. If Cutney didn't respond, everyone would think it was true because nobody spoke up and defended him. Damned if you do, damned if you don't. Dirty D, it's a good point. You know what I would have just posted? Not true. Callie Green called you on your BS. I never said it, asshole. Once again, false narrative. I never said it, asshole. Missing the point again. See what he tried to do? Make me the bad guy when I never said anything about it. Those comments had nothing to do with me. I have every right to respond to people who come on my program as a guest in any way I want. I am in complete control of how I deliver my content. Complete control. You don't like what I'm saying here because I'm defending Barrett, because no one else will. No one else will defend him. I will. Barrett Brooks is not a liar. You take that to the bank. Penny was a leader. He made sure everyone had their talcum powder. I have no idea what that means. D. Gunn and Seth said they knew that was going on in the locker room in the post game after Tampa. Said they wouldn't say, but stuff will leak out. That's why you got to remember something here. I remember Seth and D. Gunn saying that. Watching all of this Eagles shit play out truly is telling of who really listens, reads, and watches things in full. Everyone runs with headlines instead of thinking critically rather than emotionally. That's because most people today, Tone, are headline readers. They're not content readers. They don't look at the content of people. They look at the color of someone's skin or the cover of the book and pass judgment. They don't really look at content of character. You know, we're celebrating a guy who said that this month. And people funny don't even look at that and take that to the bank. Because to me, that's my number one priority when how I look at people. Your character. What kind of character are you? Character has no color. Character has definition and meaning. And when you know somebody that has both, you stand up for them. You don't hide under your table or your desk. That's what I do. Okay? Hey, Dan, the Covey story isn't true. You don't know that. It was taken out of context. You don't know that. That's an opinion. Okay? That's an opinion. You're assuming Covey didn't walk it back. How many times have you heard athletes walk on? Shit, I saw an entire year of Jalen Hurts, Nick Sirianni, players all over that football team walking comments back all year. But now you're going to believe one guy didn't walk a comment back. Think about that, Tone. How many times did you see players walking shit back this year? 10? How many press conferences did Nick Sirianni walk back this year? 20? But this guy's telling the truth and Barrett's a liar. Pathetic, ridiculous, and dumb. Hey, me, I don't believe you either. Good afternoon, Dan. Shout out from the Bahamas. Keep up the great work. I love your perspective. And Tone is a guy as well. Go Birds. Okay. Bron goes like this. Sound a bit anger. Bottom line was wrong. It's not wrong. I stand by what Barrett Brooks said on this program. That's your opinion. I 1,000% now stand behind Barrett. Barrett heard it. I believe it. You don't know any different. You don't have an opinion either way. No, you have an opinion, but you don't know if it's right or wrong. How could you know that? It's his word against his. Why would Barrett Brooks make something up out of the blue like that? Barrett Brooks is relevant. He don't need to lie. He doesn't need to lie. Why would Barrett Brooks lie? Ask yourself, what's his objective? To be relevant? He is relevant. I mean, hey, and by the way, you know what the aggravating thing probably to some of you are? I didn't say it. Because then you could have attacked me, but you can't. All I do is respond to a friend and respectfully defend him. I don't know Britton Covey from a can of paint. I know Barrett Brooks. He's my friend, and I believe him. If he heard it. Now, what we both said also was, we also said, correct me if I'm wrong here, Do you think it could have been misinterpreted, Sills? Yeah. Because if you remember, correct me if I'm wrong, Tone, we also both said this. Do we think he can rectify this and know that there's a problem in the locker room? Yes. We both said that. I even actually said, I need to see a little more of this leadership thing before. I had a little fun with it yesterday, but I still really do need to see a little more. But I'm not going to sit here and call Barrett Brooks a liar. Okay? Hey, Callie Green, you can insult me all you want. Thanks for making the show completely 1,000% one of the most watched shows in Philly and one of the most relevant shows. Media people, print media, television, Philadelphia Eagles, they all watch the show. What do you want me to do? My shows have been relevant for 34 years. That's why people have an aggravation with me. You know what's happened? You know, Tone, you don't know this, but when I first started, 200 people used to watch this thing. We got a Twitter post now with over 500,000 people. The Rock is at 1 million. We've built this thing up, and it really doesn't matter if I'm on the radio or I've got 2 styrofoam cups. People listen. I could have 2 styrofoam cups with a string, and I'll still be relevant. Think of that. Can I tell you why? Because we're not afraid. We're not afraid. Pretty soon, fireside chat. Fireside chat. No. Hey, you know what's funny? People look at it and go like this. Around 600 people are watching right now, right? Dude, if you put all our platforms together, over 400,000 people watch us weekly. Facebook, Twitter, the postings, the shows. We're between 350 and 400,000. There's one radio station in that town, Philly, wishes they had those viewerships. I get Philadelphia advertisers now. I could do this show from the moon. And you know why? You, the great people that come on this program and say some of the great things, like Merrill Reese, Angelo Cataldi. Great. Okay. Yeah, I'll tell you what. Someone just said that Philly 500, who I love and one of our favorite people, gets 3K in viewers. Yeah, but you know what you don't get? You don't get Philadelphia Eagles responding to my comments, or the Inquirer people responding to my show, or Crossing Broad responding to my show, or the PR department with the Eagles responding to my show. Remember that. The Eagle people respond to this show. I do like you guys, Prince. I do. I think you guys are the greatest fan base. That Philly fan base is insane great. And insane great. Insane great. And by the way, I don't want to throw any shade. Philly 500 is spectacular. It's why we have him on the program. And I love his work. As a matter of fact, Xander. By the way, the guy Brunson, who's friends with Tone, he and I don't see eye to eye at all because he believes some sort of psychotic narrative that never existed. But that's okay because he doesn't know me from a can of paint. I wish him nothing but the best success. I really do. We need more African-American broadcasters in this business because we don't have enough. And he's really good at what he does. So kudos to him. Hey, he may not like me, I may not like him. That doesn't mean he's not needed in our business, because he is. Okay? And if you want to believe whatever you want about me, that's fine. Most people in the media have made that narrative that's not true. But that's okay. That's why we're building this channel up and this show up the way it has to be. And for anybody to come on this program and take a shit on Barrett Brooks, that's why I'm going to spend the first 30 minutes defending him. Barrett doesn't need the money. Barrett doesn't need the job. Barrett doesn't need the headaches. Barrett doesn't need any of that. But you know what he does? He does it because he likes it. He enjoys it. Okay? The ignorance of some of you, this dude Barrett played in the NFL. That alone, plus he's a 12-plus year veteran, credibility than most podcast media and reporters. What's he going to lie? You know, a bunch of couch warrior keyboards. Love the show. Sills, I may not agree with you on all your takes, but can we get the second? Yeah, there we go. Sills, I may not agree with all your takes, but you have a right to say it. I may not agree with Barrett's take, but he has a right to say it. I stand with you too. Free speech. How you doing? Cue ball. That's the best damn comment. Everyone's got a right to an opinion. And if somebody believes Britton Covey, so be it. To come out of his own mouth? Absolutely. But you know what? I don't believe. What did I tell you? I'm not going to believe anything out of that building, because those people walk all their comments back all year long. Tell me that's not been a narrative. I used to hate this show. Now I can't go a day without this train wreck show. Sucks. Keep up the great work. Joseph, that is another. Hey, Tone, please put that up. That's one of my favorite. Look at Tone. Does that not embody the show in Big Sills? Because here, let me say it this way. I used to hate Sileo. Now I can't go a day without Sileo, the train wreck show. Sucks. You suck. Keep up the good work. Freaking funny, Joseph. Absolutely an absolute sensational take. That is the best. Okay? Hey, Sills, you suck out loud. I hate you. Keep up the good work. Those are the best. That's what makes Philly Philly. Hey, is that not a Philly tweet or a post? Is that not a Philly post, right? Sills, you suck. I hate you. Keep up the good work. Oh, my God. That could bring a tear to my eye, man. By the way, I'm going to give you some of the best comments and questions I want to ask. I had my doubts about Sileo as well. Now I love him. I love to hate him even more. Yeah, because you know why? Can I tell you something about Tone, what he's right now? Can I tell you? I can't wait. Tone, do not come on, because I'm saving your ass for 3:30. But before you listen to this, okay? You know why Tone gets aggravated with me? Because he's hoping for the best for Hurts. And he's a fan. And he wants this thing to turn around. Me, I look, I'm not rooting for failure for anybody. Here comes the kumbaya. Fireside chat. By the way, we're going to be posting some clips from the fireside chat. William goes like this. Howard Stern formula? No. You mean Howard Stern formula in the 80s and 90s? Because the Howard Stern now, that guy's a snowball. That guy's a snowflake today. That Howard Stern show today is a snowflake. Okay? This is a snowflake. Uh-oh, we're getting fireside chat. How you doing, Howie? Did you get my Christmas card? Hey, watch this. Hey, Howie, did you get my New Year's Day card and my Christmas card? Did you get my pound cake? Oh, yeah. Hey, Howie, did you get my pound cake? Yeah. Mm. No, Brian. Dan unneutered, Dan unfiltered. That's what the name of this bitch should have been. All right. As we wait for some of the clips of the Fireside Chat, here's some of the questions that I hope and I know these people won't ask because I have no nuggets. As my grandfather would say, one of the great things my grandfather used to like to say, this guy has no nuggets. And you can probably underline what that means. This guy has no nuggets. And I would have some questions. Sills, why did you call black men monkeys? Because it was a mistake. And they weren't all black. Okay? It was a mistake. Like when Joe Biden goes to a Grand Wizards eulogy, Senator Byrd, probably a mistake, right? And he eulogizes him. That was probably a mistake, right? Or if you don't vote for me, you're not black. Probably a mistake. Only difference is I don't have multiple times of saying those things. He does. But that's a mistake. Okay. Enough said on that. Being raised. Okay. Carlos, it's okay, boss. Here we go. Here's some comments. And by the way, you know what you get? You know what you get here? Truth, justice, and the American way. I can't. My guy Tone is sifting through the Fireside Chat. I can't wait to hear nothing. By the way, unfortunately, Tone's going to, and maybe James and all those guys are going to have their hands full today in trying to find something relevant. So I don't know if we're going to see a lot of posts or a lot of comments out of that thing. Because at the end of the day, you're not going to really see and hear a lot of things. You're going to hear, oh my God, kumbaya, and this and that. Okay? Eagle fan goes, I got fired for being a racist. No, I didn't. I got fired because I took a shit on the Bucks. That's not why I was fired, DAE. And by the way, I had a job 11 days later at Miami. The market manager who works in Philly hired me. 11 days later, gave me a raise. Isn't that crazy? Okay? Isn't that crazy? I had a job 11 days later. Tone's right. Punching down. Thank you, Tone. All right. By the way, he'll be with us at 3:30. And we're going to have Mark Farzetta with us at 4:30. Okay? Here we go. Let's do Nikki and Nicholas Sirianni. Who hired the coordinators? That's what I would ask Nick out of the gate. Did you hire the coordinators? Because if you hired the coordinators, I want to know what made you think they were qualified. Did you hire the coordinators? That's question one. Question two, are you consulting with Frank Reich on offense and defensive coordinators that are out there in the NFL right now on different teams? Would be my second question to Nick. Number three, hey, Nick, what happened to the locker room? And you make it a vague question because, hey, Tone, am I right? You know why you make that question vague? I'm going to teach you guys a little lesson in how to ask questions because I've been doing this for 35 years. What happened to the locker room? You know why you ask it vague like that and you don't put it more in a box? Because you let Nick over-explain it. And the more he over-explains that answer, you'll know why he lost it. Because he's making excuses. See, there's a science to asking questions. Tone, boy, I'll tell you one thing about my guy Tone, man. He is a sponge. This guy, he soaks his shit up and he gets it. You got to load the question up and make it vague. That's right. And let them sink themselves. That's exactly correct. Okay? That's right. Open-ended questions on certain. Some of them, though, you want to make them to the point. Okay? Because you want to put them in a box. Let me give you a for instance. You guys know who Jeff Ireland is? He used to be the general manager of the Miami Dolphins. And I asked him the question, Tony, you'll love this. I go, so let me ask you something, Jeff. So when you were interviewing at the Combines and you asked Des Bryant if his mother was a prostitute, can you tell me what the relevance of that is? And even if she was, what's the point of it? He went on this diatribe to try to over-explain when all he had to do was, I wanted to see his response. And it was an inappropriate question. You think? Is your mother a whore? He asked that question to Des Bryant. And I called him on it. I was like, how could you? I mean, I didn't say it like that. How could you? I said, did you ask Des Bryant in your interview when you were interviewing him in Indianapolis if his mother was a prostitute? And he went on this gigantic, and at the end he said, I did. And I left it there. I left it hanging out there for people to make their own assessment of what they thought of the Miami Dolphins GM. And then I said this question to him. Hey, what would you give the roster you have right now? You know what he said? I give it a B. And I went, Jeff, you've had 2 straight years of 6-10 seasons. You think that roster's 6? You think that you've won 12 games in 2 years and you have a B roster? So then that means your coach is not good. Holy cow. Do you know the Dolphins came in the next day? They didn't put any more Dolphins on. Here's another question I would ask. Oh, Nick, what happened to Hurts? Another open-ended question. Let him fill it in. Because he may, you see, what's the one thing, guys, that Nick is known for? Putting his foot in his mouth. When you have a guy, see, you know why? You know who the hardest people to interview are? Belichick. Because he's not going to say shit. He's not going to give you anything. So you have to ask smarter questions. Nick, you don't have to ask a lot of smart questions to. Okay? You don't. You don't have to. Here's the most important question. Hey, Nick, did you want Brian Johnson fired? Do you think anybody will ask that question? Do you think anybody will ask that question? Nick, did you want to fire Brian Johnson? Did you think it was in the best interest to fire Brian Johnson? Now let's get to Howie, the little guy, Napoleon Roseman. Hey, let's get to Napoleon Roseman. Okay? First question for Napoleon. Did you fire Sean Desai in week 13 of the NFL season? Do you think that question will be asked? No, that was Nick's call. Oh, that was Nick's call. to hire him and then fire him. He's not qualified to be a head. Do you understand what's going on here? If you ask the right questions, you could theoretically get Nick Sirianni fired. That's why they're getting their ducks in a row here. They've got to be smart here. Or you can indict this guy. That's why I'm trying to indict somebody here. Okay? Did you fire the DC, Howie, in week 13? No, that was Nick. Oh, so Nick hired these inexperienced guys and then with an inexperienced head coaching move, fired him in week 13. Is that right? Well, shit. How's he keeping his job? Here's another question for Napoleon Roseman. Would you like Frank Reich involved in the organization moving forward? By the way, that's not a vague question. Yes or no really will do. Do you want Frank Reich involved? Okay? Okay? These questions won't be asked. If they are, kudos. Kudos. Hey, do you think they're going to do like they do with the Biden press secretary? They're going to be calling on certain people at the fireside chat. There'll be certain people they call on and certain people they don't. Like they'll call on MSNBC and CNN, but they won't call on Fox. Right? They won't. Do you think it'll be like that? They're going to systematically go off a script on who they're going to go to? Hey, that's a good point. Maybe Covey walked that thing back because you know why? He is a special teams guy. Had a good year, special teams guy. I'm not talking about a frontline receiver here. And he's not Wes Welker. Remember, I got to stay on the roster, man. I'll go get Braxton Berrios. I'm all right with that because he actually could play wide out. Give me Braxton Berrios over Britton Covey. Would you do it? I think Braxton Berrios is a free agent too. Berrios is actually a good wideout. Would you do it? I would. Homie's got to stay on that roster. You better backpedal. You better get them oars out. Calling my guy Barrett Brooks a liar? Barrett Brooks is not a liar. Has no reason to. Here's another question. How involved are you in the hiring of the OC in DC? And who will make the final call? Think of this for a second. They're 15 minutes late. They're watching us. That's what's going on. They're writing down questions that they don't want to answer. Hey, Tone, who would have thought? Little old Sil show. You're sitting here for a couple hours at my bar talking shit. And you guys care that much? How you doing? This is wonderful. What a Grand Slam day. God, I wish I had a Grand Slam. I love that Denny's Grand Slam. Whew. Damn. Chicken fried steak and eggs, too, to have a great plate. I divest. Or I'm diverted. I'm sorry, food. I'm starving. Did you fire Brian Johnson? Howie? Hey, Cosmo goes, Sills, why is everyone crying in here? I don't know. Because they want their little bit of recognition. And now, I have a question. What happened? Who's LJ? Never heard of him. IHOP over Denny's. I don't know, man. I got a great friend at IHOP. Okay? Yes, sir, baby. I back Barrett Brooks 100%. He's not a liar. I think Britton Covey, like the rest of those Eagles this year, walked it back. Sorry. That's my opinion. You don't like it? Tough shit. Tough shit. What did you expect me to do? Not defend my friend? Wrong. Wrong place. Wrong place. Covey's not a liar either. Well, let's take a look at that. Okay? All I heard all year long was Philadelphia Eagle guys, every time they made a comment, including Jalen Hurts, when he said about leadership and accountability, he had to have a press conference in the middle of the week to clarify his comments. A.J. Brown made a comment. He had to have a press conference to clarify his comments. Nick Sirianni has to have these press conferences, and by the way, was caught lying blatantly about a made-up situation in Seattle that never happened. And at the beginning of the week, he was lying about when asked the question, are you going to make any changes at coordinator? No, we have the guys in the building, and I completely trust them. That wasn't a guy who was covering then. That was a guy that had a total belief and was told on Wednesday, either you fire him or we will. And so Nick did it. Since when is all of a sudden now the Eagles get the benefit of the doubt? Why are you doing that? Why are you giving an Eagle player the benefit of the doubt when all they've done all year long is backtrack? That's what they've done all year. It's not like people have been, you know, my problem is nobody stood up for anybody this year, including the quarterback. Is that a false statement? Name me one person that stood up during the season for anybody. Shit, it's been 14 days. I thought Brian Johnson was Hurts' boy. Never defended him, never said anything about it being his fault. Did he like him? Nothing. His coach was on the proverbial hot seat for the last 10 days. The kid never said anything about him. So don't sit here and try to tell me, oh, Britton Covey's telling the truth and Barrett Brooks is lying. You guys are so full of shit. You'll believe anything. No wonder this country's in the position it's in. Because people can tell you anything and you will be sheep. Make your own assessment for yourself and your own opinions for yourself. Don't have people thinking for you. Damn. Man. Hey, have they started the fireside chat? Probably not. Probably going to answer 2 questions. Call it a day. What happened? I don't know. Night. Delayed. All year long, that football team has been walking comments back. Hey, Big Sills, I keep saying fireside chat at work. You got to do it with a little emphasis, too, fireside chat. You know, because it's going to be like, you know, cocoa and it's kind of cold now, right, Philly? So he's got to have some hot cocoa, you know, hand warmers, maybe some chestnuts roasting on an open fire. You know, nice little poppers that you put over the fire, maybe some popcorn. Oh, the Chip Kelly ice cream bar. I wonder if that'll be out on display. Fireside chat. Actually, yeah, right. Lowering to personal attacks like what? Sirianni being incompetent? Put multiple Capricorns in a room to ask these questions. You got to have a sense of humor to understand us. You remind me of Ali. He was born in January. Hey, Death Row. That's exactly the truth. Capricorns, man, okay? They are non-bullshit artists because we're not capable of it. Okay? The National show, the Far Side Shot. Hey, Carl, dude, you can't pull shit over on Philadelphia fans or football fans. You can't pull shit over on people, man. They know when you're a bullshit artist. You know it. Holy cow, get this. So, you know what? And I'm sorry to say, and man, I'll tell you what, I'm very disappointed in my guy Tone a little bit here because Doc Rivers is a friend of mine. And Doc's been on the program twice. And I love Doc. I used to play golf with Doc when he was in Orlando. And he's still got a place there, Dr. Phillips. And I'm a friend of Doc's. And I like Doc. Okay? And does Doc melt down a little bit in the postseason and over coach's team? Probably. Okay? Probably. Okay? But Doc's my boy, man. And now I've got great respect for Doc. I love Doc Rivers. He and I have had a lot of years together. And he comes on the program all the time. So, hey, by the way, let's just put it this way. How many coaches in the last 30 years do you have to have a championship that have coached the Sixers? Oh, one. Doc. Yeah. Doc. That's right. Not a good coach? Well, he's got a world championship and a Larry O'Brien trophy. I know. He sucks. He sucks. Hey, get this. We'll see what Nick Nurse does. Wouldn't that be funny? I can't wait to see that series between Giannis and Embiid. See how that thing plays out. For the record, Noose is a champion as well. Oh, that's right. He is. I forgot. That's right. You hired one finally. Can't believe it. Josh Harris. Crazy great. Crazy great. Yeah. Hey, has the fireside chat started? What the hell are we waiting for here? Okay. Where's the fireside chat? Has it started yet, Tone? Has this press conference started? It's late. It's late. Just like some of the players getting on the field at the end of the season, not knowing who was out there and having to call timeout. The fireside chat hasn't started. Wait, where are we now? Holy cow, we're 30 minutes late. Shit. What is going on here? All right. I got a question to ask you. Let's do this. Okay? Late like our pass rush and blitz pickups. The chestnuts are roasting sills. Oh, yeah, the food's not able to come out yet. Okay? That's right. They said they're late because of a team meeting. What team meeting? The guys are wet. They're not. What team meeting? They had their checkout last week. Player exit interviews were last week. What team meeting? Team meeting? You mean a staff meeting? So they get their shit in row? There's no team. What are they talking about, team meeting? What a bullshit comment if that's true. Team meeting. Oh, they got to get the smoothie machine going. Kelly Green goes, Sills acts like he hasn't been late on here. No. I run on Sileo time, guy. I'm never late. It's my world, not yours. You live in it. Remember that. Okay? I'm never late to anything. That's my world. You, on the other hand, you think I'm late? Well, that's your shit. Okay? Yes, sir, baby. We started the program out defending our guy, Barrett Brooks. Congratulations, Barrett. Stand tall. Britton Covey saying that means nothing to me. Because the comments out of the NovaCare Center this year have been nothing but BS. Team meeting. They think they are the team. Okay, that's a good one. So the press is supposed to, the fireside shot, supposed to start in another 15 minutes. Okay? So you guys thought to call Barrett Brooks a liar today. And then I was going to throw Barrett Brooks under a bus or something. Never happened. I stand with him 100% on all the comments he made here. If that's his opinion, I stand with him. I don't know Britton Covey from a can of paint. Nor do I care to. Okay? Let's make that clear. G. Sills loves himself some Sills. Always have, always will. If you don't love yourself, you can't love others. You might want to start with that yourself, kid. Okay? Derek Brooks is too big to throw anywhere. That's a fair comment, too. He's a horse. Oh, yeah. Hey, is this an analytics thing that we're struggling with now? Is this an analytics thing? I'm going to save this question for the top of the hour. Okay? I am. Oh, it's starting now? They're starting. Okay, so I'm going to take a timeout, and we're going to do that. Don't forget our great friends at Hooters. 2024 calendars are out. 9 of the girls are featured in the calendars. Don't forget there's $100 in coupons there. You can also use the app, HootersToGo.com. Don't forget, like I said, during this weekend's conference championship games, that'll be on Sunday, $2 off every pitcher in-game. $1 will go to local proceeds, and all of those will go to local charities. Again, NortheastHooters.com. That's NortheastHooters.com. Hey, Wing Wednesdays, 1983. All you can eat, one of our greatest things that we do. We've been doing this for over 40 years. Don't forget, kids eat for free on Saturday. We'll give you more. We'll take some bites. I have a question for you. After the fireside chat, what happens next? We'll do it. Hour number 2 coming up. Tone will be at the bottom of the hour as well. Mark Farzetta will join us at 4:30. Keep it here on the National Football Show.
Football and